My daughter, 17 years old, and niece, 6 years old, are the only grandkids in our family. My niece was a rainbow baby and the only child in our family. I found out about my daughter when she was 9 years old, so we missed most of her childhood. So naturally she gets a lot of attention. My daughter is clearly jealous of her and has been very mean towards her. A few days ago we all went shopping and my niece went missing in the crowd. Naturally, we all panicked and started to search for her while my daughter was on her phone playing. I told her that niece is missing and she said, "Good, I hope she's not found," and went back to her phone. So when we got home, I grounded her for a month. She thinks I was the jerk. Edit. So I'm going to give you a quick update while I figure out how to deal with her now. I decided to have a conversation with her about her feelings and behaviour towards her cousin. We didn't have much of a conversation because she kept crying and screaming at me, listing all the times everyone ignored her or favoured my niece. I honestly didn't realise how awful we have been to her. She is my little girl, and I never meant to make her feel like this. I'm going to talk to my family and tell them we need to throw her a late birthday party, since we had to skip her birthday because my niece was very sick. It will be a day only about her, and from now on, we have to be more careful about how we treat her. I don't know what to do other than that, and I probably won't be giving any more updates since I have to go figure out what to do now. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You said your niece is the only child in your family. You also said she and your daughter are the only grandkids. Does your family not consider your daughter a part of the family because she was introduced to them later in her life? Edited after Op's response to my question, and some other responses. You're the idiot. Your daughter's response wasn't great, but I'm going to give her a pass here. You never really explained why you didn't find out why you didn't know you had a daughter until she was 9. Not exactly Father of the Year look there. The way you describe your niece makes it clear even to me that she is the favoured child. The miracle baby, if you will. And yes, rainbow babies are a big deal and they are special and something to be celebrated. But for a 6-yo to be this fawned over by you entire family. I don't blame your daughter for feeling slighted emotionally. Also, it's not cool that you are shoving off the responsibility of watching a 6-yo onto a 17-yo. You are the adult here. You neglected your niece. Don't take out the fact that she got lost on your daughter when you were supposed to be watching her. To be clear, I do not condone what your daughter said, but I'm choosing to give her grace considering the circumstances. Edited. Will everyone please stop focusing on the part of my post where I said that rainbow babies are special and should be cherishes? They are special to their parents, just like all of their kids should be. There just might be a few extra moments of relief and joy surrounding the birth than there would have been surrounding the birth of a baby who was born under so-called normal circumstances. I would expect that after a few hours, that relief would dissipate and the parents would go back to parenting as normal. Finding uniqueness and joys in each of their children, as it should be, and not putting a child on a pedestal because of the circumstances surrounding their conception birth, of which they had no part of. Comment 2. Sounds like the whole family has been ignoring your daughter in favour of the golden child rainbow baby, including her own parents. You know what happens when one child gets spoiled to the exclusion of the other? You get an attitude like you're seeing in your 17-yo. You also get a situation where the excluded child leaves at 18 and doesn't look back, as in, goes full no contact with the family that excluded them. I would suggest you and the rest of the family correct the behaviour that led to this situation before you lose your daughter completely. Was what she said inappropriate? Sure. But she never would have gotten to the point of saying it if the adults in her life had shown her even a modicum of the attention her cousin gets. And you know what? Your daughter is still a child herself. It wasn't her job to search for another child. You're the idiot for letting the situation get to this point. Comment 3. If your math is correct, your daughter was around your family for 2 years before she was presumably dropped like a bad habit when the new baby, the one you called the only child in the family, did you forget your daughter was a child for a long time too, arrived. It sounds like your extended family is tight-knit, but treats your daughter like an outsider, and you're doing nothing to stand up for her. I'd be bitter too. I bet she watches all sorts of favouritism you've conveniently left out of your post. Just because she's not a child doesn't mean she can't be made to feel included in other ways. Apologise to her for how she's being treated and figure out how to make her more welcome in your life. You're the idiot as the adult in this situation. Now for the update. So it's been a month since the whole ordeal. Thankfully, my niece was found safe and sound, just a couple of stores down by the security team. She'd wandered off to admire a display of toy unicorns. After we got home, my daughter started her grounded period, which, as most parents will agree, is never a pleasant experience. The tension in the house was palpable. But I took the advice you guys gave me and initiated a conversation with my family about our daughter's feelings. At first there was some resistance. They didn't see it, or perhaps they didn't want to. But as we went over the incidents, the shift in attention, the lack of enthusiasm for her achievements, it became clear. We were neglecting our daughter's emotional well-being because we were so caught up in protecting my niece. The next step was reconciliation. We sat down with our daughter and apologized. We acknowledged her emotions, her jealousy, and most importantly, our role in causing it. We made promises to do better, and then we started planning for her belated birthday bash. The party was last weekend, and it was a hit. She chose the theme, a space-themed party. The house was decorated like a spaceship with planets and stars hanging from the ceilings. My niece was as excited as my daughter, and they both dressed up as astronauts. We made sure my daughter was the centre of attention, but also ensured to include my niece in a manner that didn't overshadow her. My daughter, in return, was very gracious and went out of her way to include her cousin in all the activities. It was beautiful to see the two girls laughing and playing together, and even more beautiful was the sight of my daughter's eyes lighting up when the entire family gathered around to sing her the birthday song. It was like a balm to our hearts, knowing she felt loved and cherished. Since the party, there's been a noticeable difference in the dynamics of our family. My daughter's been more open, more forgiving towards her cousin. My niece, in turn, has been trying to share her spotlight with her. They've been bonding better, and my daughter has started showing genuine concern for her cousin. In the end, we're still a work in progress, but we're learning. We're learning to be more mindful of both the girls' feelings and to ensure they both feel loved and appreciated equally. It's not easy and we sometimes falter, but we're getting there one step at a time. Now for the comments. 1. Not the idiot. It's commendable that your family is taking steps to rectify their previous neglect. It's never too late to improve, and it's important to acknowledge past mistakes. However, make sure that the changes are not just surface level and that you're investing in their emotional well-being consistently, not just as a reactionary measure after a traumatic event. 2. Not the idiot. But it does seem like it took a rather extreme situation to make your family realize your own daughter's emotional needs. It's good that you're making amends now, but it's crucial to ensure you're not just overcorrecting in the short term out of guilt. Sustainable, meaningful change takes time and consistent effort. 3. Not the idiot. However, moving forward, it's essential to maintain open communication with both girls. You've made a good start with the belated birthday party, but keep in mind that it takes more than a single event to mend emotional neglect. Continue to make them feel loved and appreciated every day, not just on special occasions. Now for the next story. My 29-year-old male sister Ashley had her wedding yesterday, but I didn't attend it. 2 years or so ago, when she was going through medical depression and required treatment, I had helped her. She didn't have the money and I was the one who paid for everything for her, etc. None of her friends had helped, and neither did any of our other relatives. Much later, when she'd gotten out of her issues, I once urgently required some money. I asked her and she refused by saying she can't help and to not bother her about it again. I was shocked considering how much I'd spent for her, and when she continued to refuse, I asked her whether she had forgotten what I had done for her. Ashley asked me how I can say that I cured her when it was the medicines that worked and that I wasn't the doctor. She said it was the medicines and the doctor that treated her and not me. I didn't argue. When the wedding date was fixed, I told her that I am not coming. She was surprised and asked me why, and I told her that I have better things to do with my time than attending weddings of people like her. She got mad and asked me what my problem was, and that she wants everyone to be present. She asked me to not insult her. I told her that she herself had insulted me by brushing away everything I did for her, and that she's extremely ungrateful for not helping me with money when she could have. I told her I hadn't even asked her back the money I had spent on her, but she had no humanity at all. We had an argument and everyone asked me to forget about what she said and to attend. But I didn't attend her wedding and I didn't even congratulate her. Am I the idiot? Edit. I had asked her for $600 and spent around $20,000 for her treatment. I know she had the money because she'd recently got a job that was high enough and she would have been able to pay me. The wedding was being paid for by our parents and the grooms. No, I didn't say that I had cured her per se. I told her that I had paid for her medications/treatment, which essentially helped in treating her. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot and good for you standing your ground. Ashley asked me how I can say that I cured her when it was the medicines that worked and that I wasn't the doctor. She said it was the medicines and the doctor that treated her and not me. Yeah, but you paid for those medicines and medical staff to cure her. Everyone asked me to forget about she said and to attend. Of course they did. It's easy to say that when it's not their money she used to cure her. Edit. Forgot to add. When she gets pregnant and asks you to foot her medical bills, tell her to frick off. Comment 2. You didn't help me, the doctors and the medicine did, so I don't owe you anything. You didn't take me to work daily for a year, your car did, so I don't owe you anything. You didn't feed me, the food from the supermarket did, so I don't owe you anything. I would want to stay as far away as possible from a person that uses this kind of logic. Not the idiot. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It is one thing if she had said, I can't help you because I don't have the money, which would have been fair, but forgetting who paid for treatment is a nasty move. That being said, I would be very clear with the rest of the family as to why you refused to go. Don't be insulting, just state how this happened and made you feel. Now for the update. Well, folks, I didn't expect to come back here so soon, but life has a funny way of throwing curveballs. A bit of an emotional roller coaster, but I'm grateful for how things turned out. So here's the update on Ashley and me. I've been trying to get my life together and felt proud of my progress. Then out of the blue, a couple of weeks ago, Ashley called me. Her voice shook a bit, but she was calm as she apologized for her past actions and lack of gratitude. She admitted that she had been selfish and that she had been in denial of my contribution to her recovery. She told me how she had struggled with her guilt, especially after her wedding, which felt incomplete without me. She also mentioned that she had started therapy again to overcome her tendency to downplay the emotional support she received during her depression and work on her issues with acknowledging gratitude. She said she realized the error of her ways when her therapist pointed out that she might be projecting her guilt about accepting help onto the people who helped her. The apology wasn't easy for her, and I could tell she meant it. So, I decided to take a leap of faith and forgive her. We agreed to meet and talk like we used to. It was a bit awkward at first, but we eventually fell back into the rhythm of our old banter. It felt like, for the first time in a long while, we were truly siblings again. The icing on the cake came when she said that she wanted me to have a part of her wedding, albeit belatedly. She handed me a box, and inside was a framed picture of us from our childhood with a note saying, "For my rock, my strength, better late than never." It's been a while since that meeting and things have been looking up. We talk more, share more and laugh more. We aren't the same as we were before, but that's okay. We're stronger, wiser and more understanding. In the end, it was our capability to accept, forgive and change that brought us back together, stronger than ever. And I guess that's the beautiful thing about being human. We're all flawed, but we're also capable of growth and change. Now for the comments. Not the idiot. It's not easy to forgive someone who's wronged you, especially when they've been ungrateful for your help in the past. You did a great thing by giving Ashley a second chance. It shows your maturity and understanding that people can change and grow. Not the idiot, but you should be cautious moving forward. It's great that Ashley is seeking therapy and acknowledging her past mistakes, but remember actions speak louder than words. It's a good start, but make sure she proves her change in behaviour over time. Not the idiot. It's heartening to see Ashley making strides to improve herself and your relationship. The framed picture gesture is a positive sign that she's genuinely making amends. You're doing the right thing by accepting her apology and helping her in her journey of self-improvement. Now for the next story. This is messy. I am 40 years old and have been married to my wife Cindy off and on. We had a child together who is now 17 years old. We had a rocky part in our marriage and split for a few years where I met a woman, Stacey. We were together for a while, having twins together who are now 12 years old. Stacey and I split up because she ended up being unfaithful. 2 years later, I had reconciled with Cindy, and we got my twins every weekend due to our work schedules. This past weekend, my oldest daughter went into early labour. It was also my weekend with my twins. I had told Stacey on the way to the hospital that I would not be able to have them this weekend due to this. I had put my phone on silent and away due to a lot going on. When I returned to my phone, I had a bunch of texts from Stacey saying how I needed to go home and be with my twins, and how Cindy could handle this situation. I told her absolutely not, that I wasn't missing the birth of my grandchild. She then responded angrily, saying how I was picking my oldest daughter over my youngest and how wrong that was, since they can only see me on the weekends anyways. I tried texting and calling multiple times throughout the weekend, getting no responses. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Ignore these people op. Labour is an emergency, especially premature, especially at 17, especially if you're in the US. We have awful mortality and complication rates. Your child undergoing a painful, scary, life-threatening procedure that could maim, unalive and mentally destroy her was something that absolutely took priority over a regular weekend with your younger children. Make it up to your twins later by taking them somewhere extra fun next weekend and explain how dangerous and scary childbirth could be and how you would drop everything to be at their sides in the same situation. As for their mum, having your ex have an emergency and being unable to take the kids during their time is an expected part of the co-parenting process. I'm not sure what plans she could have had, but frankly, emergencies take precedence. A copy of my comment elsewhere, just with a vote for the bot. Comment 2. Stacey's plan. Op's oldest child having an early labour. Whatever Stacey has planned, Op's oldest child having an early labour. Stacey might have made whatever plans for the weekend. Oh no. Op's oldest child had an early labour though. That is not equal. If Stacey can't understand how important the birth of your first grandchild is. Did Stacey not even care for your oldest daughter? She had an early labour, not the idiot. Stacey should be more understanding. Easy for all these people to say that you're a jerk, when you were the one who had to go through the stress of worrying that your eldest daughter can have a healthy delivery. If OP chose the twins, the title of this post would be Aita, that I abandoned my eldest daughter and the birth of my first grandchild. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I can see why so many people are getting worked up about time management and childcare. This, however, does not translate directly to this situation. If your daughter goes into labour, you need to be there with her if you can be. There is no ideal option for the twins. There aren't many possibilities for a time-centred emergency. Childcare isn't that easy to find on that short of notice. For those of you who might not know, showing up at the hospital is not choosing between your kids, it is being a good parent and a good grandparent. Congratulations, BTW. Hopefully this situation will settle down with a little bit of time. Now for the update. It's been 1 month since my daughter's labour and the birth of my precious grandchild. The joy of this event has been bittersweet, tainted with a sorrow that I never imagined I'd have to experience. I wish Stacey could have understood. Instead, she's cut off all contact with me, denying me any interaction or updates about my twins. I've tried to reach her countless times. I've had my lawyers attempt contact, and I've even sent my brother to her house to try and talk some sense into her. Nothing has worked. I'm heartbroken, to say the least. My attempts at legal intervention have been just as fruitless. The courts are so backed up that it'll be at least 2 more months before we can even get a hearing for an emergency modification of the custody arrangement. I'm stuck in this agonizing limbo, haunted by my children's absence. They celebrated their 13th birthday last week. I had presents ready, a cake mix on standby, but they weren't here. I didn't get to see their smiles, didn't get to hear their laughter. I didn't even get a call. The pain of this situation has also strained my relationship with Cindy. She's tried to be supportive, but I can tell she's frustrated with the whole situation. She's torn between wanting to comfort me and wanting to celebrate our grandchild's arrival. It's not her fault, but it feels like another wedge between us, another hiccup in our tumultuous relationship. The only silver lining in this nightmare is my grandchild. Seeing my daughter step into motherhood, watching this small life grow, has been a source of immeasurable joy amidst the pain. I wish my twins could meet their niece. I wish they could witness the love in our family. I'm lost, guys, sinking in this sea of guilt and regret. I feel like I've failed my twins. I never wanted them to feel neglected or unloved, and now I don't even have the chance to show them that they are my world. I miss them terribly. I hope they know that. I have to believe that they do. And as I clutch onto that sliver of hope, I can only pray that this situation resolves soon, for their sake, for my sake. Now for the comments. 1. Not the idiot. It sounds like you're in an incredibly tough situation, and it's clear how much you love and miss your grandchildren. It's not an easy thing to be denied access to your family, especially when you've gone to such great lengths to maintain a connection. It's a shame that Stacey has chosen to cut you off completely, but this situation might be a reflection of some deeper, unresolved issues that need to be addressed. Remember, you can only control your own actions and reactions, not others. 2. You're the idiot. While it's understandable that you're upset, it seems like you might not be considering Stacey's perspective. We don't know the full story behind why she's chosen to cut you off, but it's her right to do so if she believes it's in the best interest of her children. Legal intervention seems like a drastic step and could have potentially escalated the situation. Instead, perhaps a more open conversation or family mediation could have been a better first step. 3. Everyone sucks here. This is a heartbreaking situation all around. It's clear you're hurting, but so is Stacy. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects, perhaps you could try to celebrate the fact that you've seen your daughter grow into a mother, which is a beautiful thing. Cindy is also in a tough spot, being caught in the middle. This situation calls for a lot of patience, understanding, and willingness to compromise on all sides. Remember that everyone's actions are generally driven by what they perceive is the best for themselves or their loved ones. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.